How you going, everybody? All right, so for the first repair of the year, I have a iPad. We've got, you'll be able to see it on the screen. I should be up in the corner, but I'm looking at two different things here. So I've got one which doesn't turn on, doesn't do anything. And I've got another one here, which actually has a, it actually works, but the screen's actually faulty. It's completely wiped and is all working fine. The only issue is literally this screen issue. So what I'm hoping to do is be able to actually remove the old faulty screen from the other one, which I don't think will be a problem, and then hopefully remove the replacement one without breaking it. That's the big key for this one, and that'll give us a working pad. This is a 1671. I haven't priced it up at the moment. Both of these came in together, one not working, one damaged sort of thing. So hopefully out of the two, we'll be able to make one good one. So what I'm going to do is actually have a heat pad. I do recommend to buy these. You can get them pretty cheap. Just makes the job just possible, I should say, is the easiest way. So what we'll do is we'll chuck this on. It will take a couple of minutes to heat up, but we'll obviously do the fast forward on that. Okay, that should be hot enough for what we need. So what we'll do is I'm just going to get a little sprinkle of this around the edge. This is like electrical boil cleaner that we use for when we're doing soldering, but it works well as a bit of a, and then you just use like a very, very paper thin, not the thick ones, a very paper thin unit. It's going to be very careful. It up again. Actually very well glued down if they've never been pulled up before, so I may have to heat it a few times just to keep that heating it. Actually, what I might even do, might even leave it on the pad. These big ones are always hard. Sorry, I got a little distracted there. As I was heating it up, it was actually trying to turn on, but when I actually put it into the meter to just check and see if it was actually doing anything, it's only sitting at like 1, 2. Every once in a while it would spike up, but I thought, oh, maybe I don't have to sacrifice the screen. I could just get it going, but I think the heat is making something work inside of it. So just debating, do I leave it for half an hour and just see what it does? Mind you, this has never done anything. This iPad, I've had it on charge for days, and this is, like I say, it's just randomly just started trying to charge. So I don't know whether there's a chip in there that's just upset and the heat's making it kind of connect to the board, or whether yeah, it's just decided it wants to work all of a sudden. So I'm just debating whether it's detecting charge, but do I take the chance? I think what I'm going to do, I'm just going to leave it. We've got it on the clock. I'm going to leave it for half an hour and just see what it does. So I'll come back to you. I'll let the video keep recording up there, and then we'll see what it does. I don't think it'll work. I think it'll just that's not enough charge that it's trying to pull. So it's this one here. So if I pull the red one out, you'll see it will go back to the battery side and the plug in, and then if I plug it back in, you'll see it'll detect it, and then should just bring up the battery sign. So just to say that it is on charge. So it's going to 0.2. That's for something else plugged in, so ignore that. Yeah, this 0.1 amp is just not enough. It should be like at least 1 amp, or close to 1 amp. So, but you never know, because sometimes they'll like trickle the little bit, and then after a while they'll do more. But I don't think it is. I think it's fibbing. She's locked anyway, so perfect. So I'm going to keep going. What I'll do, we'll fire it all back up. And then we will remove the screen. And hopefully the screen will survive. Get all the sticky stuff off. Make it flow a bit easier. The previous screens. I think these are a couple $100 these screens. Don't quote me, but pretty sure they're actually quite expensive. Got paper thing, these things, they're great. Got a bit of heat, I think there should be enough. So I'm going to leave it on the heater anyway, help it along. It was really just a touchy-feely, just, you know if you know. I'm trying to go on an angle also. Obviously, I don't want to break anything, but I don't want to scratch it either. You know, once you put it back down, you want it to be, it's very easy to scratch the black off them. And then you got to also be careful you don't go too far. Damage something inside, mostly flexes. There can be a lot of flexes. I'm not sure exactly where the flexes are on this one. So I'm just going to pull off the heat. It's hot for my fingies. I just put my fingernails underneath just to kind of give it some air as it comes up. I don't want to lift it up. I just want it not to go back down. Because the idea is to try and go in on an angle more than up, because you go up, that's where you're going to damage cables. Especially around the home button and stuff. And I could have damaged cables already and not know it. Probably should have checked where they were to start with, but you know, hindsight. Come on, you can do it. Let's see, is she still working? Oh, there we go. The screen's still working. the bottom, and then under here, be very careful here, some screws here, and we've got a screwdriver. So, little plate. Magnetic screwdriver, very important when you're working in these. You do not want to short one out. Very easy to short these out. I try and put the screws in the same spot. I guess it won't matter because it's a whole other iPad we're putting it in, but you know, habits, good habits. We just, hopefully you can see that, just flick it off of your thumb, flick it off of your thumb. Try not to let it kind of flop around because that's when it will short out. The bonus of this one is it does have the home button is integrated with the screen, so you don't have to stress about some of them have like flexes you've got to plug in here, but on this model, nope. So this is basically just spare parts now because it's locked and it's faulty. So, and then what we'll do now, we will have to still have to change the home button. We can't get away with the home button because on these they're programmed to the unit. So if you change the home button, it'll you won't have fingerprint anymore. So, but we'll do that after. That's what we'll do. We'll get this one off. This one will come straight off because this one we actually did try and repair, but we didn't realise the screen was actually faulty. So. Yeah, unfortunately, it was a no-go. I'm just going to heat that up again, remove the home button. So I use a flat blade for this. Actually, while I'm waiting, I'll show you this part. So I'm going to complete the job, but I'm not going to complete. I'll do 3/4 of it because and then we'll come back to it because I don't like that. That's a battery in trouble. So what we'll do is I'll actually order another battery and we'll replace the battery in it. It'll only take a couple of days, but the next part is obviously we clean it. So I just use a flat blade, just go around and just give all this a clean. Get all that old tape off. This is the easiest way we ever found to clean these. Nice clean flat blade. Just go around. It gets all that old stuff off, which most of it looks like it was cleaned anyway. This pad's been lying around for about 3 years, I think. Hence probably why the battery's not looking good. And then, same thing, we found the circuit board cleaner works better than isopropyl. So just go around, give it a really good clean, get your nail in there to try and clean that edge because that can cause you some misery. And once you've done that, now I am not going to put that plate back on because I am going to pull it apart and fix that battery up, but I'll show you the rest of this. At least you've got you'll have that to refer to if you are looking at doing a screen on one of these. And then we just nice and softly should just lift up. the main side because you don't want to damage that cable. On that. This can go on. We'll pull that button out because we don't want that button in there. Probably use a fresh blade, it's a little bit blunt, but it's doing the job. I've got a bit of extra glue on it from being stuck back down. Alright, there's a little switch here, just a little flex cable, just got to undo. Then we'll flick that up. Obviously be careful, you know, I've done this 1,000 times, so I'm used to it, but if you haven't done it before, then yeah, just go slow. There's no need to hurry. Pull off. Most of the time, it should be just a sticker on here, but we've obviously glued this back in when we thought it was a good screen. So, clean off. There you go. That's cleaned off. It's clean around there. That's very important because when you put it back into the holder, you don't want any dirt. It will. Yeah, once again, it'll cause you pain. Alright, now let's see how this one went. So this is one we've got to be careful of. We don't want to damage anything on this one. So, same principle. Just wedge it in there. Got one slip and this is a throwaway. This one, because it's still fresh, it's actually got the adhesive in there as well. And then it's still got the tape. So I pull the tape off, undo the clip. Leave the tape there, we can reuse that. If it wants to be reused, maybe it doesn't. So pull that off. Come on. Not the end of the world if you damage the home button. You can still replace the home button. You just will lose fingerprint, that's all. So, you know, pick your poison. So, there you go, it's coming off. There you go. Home button off. We don't care about that one if we're not using it. So, I'm just going to put that there. And then what we're going to do, I'm just going to clean off this. All the old junk. I'm not going to use a knife on this because it's glass and I don't want to scratch it. You can see how thin they are by flexing. Not very thick. They're actually quite durable, but it's probably one of the more durable ones. These and Samsung's pretty good. Surface are terrible. They'll break just looking at them. Can't think of any real other tablet brands. Maybe Lenovo. Don't know if you Lenovo's. They're pretty easy, but they're generally got an assembly. They're not just a glass. So actually no, they are glass. Sorry, yeah, the ones I've done have been a glass. So, definitely by far the worst ones are surface. Very unlikely you'd be able to do the same sort of thing with a surface, because, like I say, they almost break looking at them. You're trying to get them out and fix them is almost impossible. So give this a clean up. What I'm going to just do a very basic, this is what we do, give it a clean up, but I'm not going to go all the way with it, because at the end of the day I'm going to have to take it out again anyway. I just don't want it to stick down straight away, so I'm not going to make it the most perfect clean. Right, so it's tacky, not sticky. See these flexes? This is what I'm talking about. Like, you get under those, you can't see it, under these flexes, just on the ends. So if you go too deep when you're slicing, and under here, they're flexes as well, that's it, it's all over. So the screen's a throwaway. And obviously you've got the home button there as well, so when you're cutting into it, very easy to damage it. Excuse the wind, massive wind tonight. Alright, so that's done. So now what we do with the home button, so I mean, look, everybody has their opinions about stuff, but the easiest way we found was, and reliable, because that's something that's a big thing with home buttons. If they don't get glued down properly, they'll play up. So whether they cave in, fall into the display, into the body, or whether they just don't work properly. So we found the most reliable way, just a little bit of B7000. This has been the best thing that's happened to the industry, I think, because it's only been around for a few years, well, probably a lot longer now, but in the last, I'd say 7 or 8 years. Before that, there really wasn't a lot around, not that I knew of anyway. So, and then you'll feel the home button will go into place, and then you should be able to click it. There's a little nipple in there. Unless it's dead center to that nipple, it will not click. Just let me check this. It's there. Yep, she's clicking. Okay, so iPad. So normally what I would do is throw a bit of this on, bit of tape on around the edges. So we will do that once I get the battery in, but a bit of tape around the edges, and then I generally also run a bead of glue around the perimeter as well, just to give it a little bit of stick. A lot of people hate it when people put these on with the batteries connected, but at the end of the day, it is so hard to do it and disconnect and reconnect the batteries. But the main thing is don't do what I'm doing. Don't flop around with it. Actually have it sitting there properly. And you want to kind of make a one pass hit. Because if you don't, you can short it out. There's a lot of stuff under there. And if you short it out, you can do some real damage. So there you go. And then normally you'd put the plate on. Sit it down. Heat it back up. And then it should be working. Let's find out if I did my job. These aren't, don't have any issues with screens as far as you're not going to gain or lose anything from changing your screen with another one. They're pre all that stuff. And just make sure. Yep, so it's all working. Yeah, it's not signed into anything. Alright, so yeah, so it's a iPad Pro 12.9 second gen, 64 gig, and yep, it's got SIM as well. So yeah, so screen works good. That's all we need. All right, job done. Let's go and evaluate and see what this is worth. And yeah, I'll also, what we'll do while I'm doing that is I'll price up a battery as well, so we can kind of get a bit of a lay down of what this actually cost, which is so far nothing. So both were actually e-waste units. So yeah, so give me 5, or 2. You won't even know it. It will be instant, and I'll be across in front of the computer. Well, wasn't that a fun repair? A few unexpected things on there, but overall it went well. We saved the screen, and looking around, like these screens go for anywhere from like $300-400 up to, I saw one for $800 on eBay, which I don't understand that, but look, if they are, they are. Some of this stuff can be very expensive because some of the models were low production models, so maybe they are that expensive. They're just so hard to find. So a good one to look out for. The pads look like they go for between $400 and $600. There's a few different varied prices. Once again, you'll see them pop up. I'll throw them on the screen. But overall, I'll probably sell this one for around the $400 mark. I've still got to put a battery in. So the only cost I'm actually going to have is my time, and it's $40 or $50 for a battery. But what I'll do, I will record that repair. That one should be a lot faster because obviously you've done the screen, but I can't remember on that model if you have to actually pull the motherboard out. Some of them you have to pull the motherboard out, some of them the batteries come out. I think you have to pull the motherboard out on that one, and I can't remember how in depth it is. Some of the iPads, the board removal is just, it'll be a bigger job than the screen, but we'll see how it goes. So like I say, they're still a viable unit, and at $400 or $500, I think it's worth trying to save them. Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, I could probably have sold that screen for $300 or $400 just to sell the screen. So maybe, I don't know, that's what they're going for. And being an Apple original screen too makes it more valuable than an aftermarket. So, but maybe you just can't get aftermarket. Maybe that's why they're so expensive. Yeah, so all right, so we're going to close this video out. Good repair. I'm happy with it. Like I say, if you can get it up without breaking it and get it back into play and pull a couple of items out of scrap, and the other one will still get used in parts. There's still viable parts in there. I wonder if the battery's good on. No, because it was playing up, wasn't it? The battery was good. I could just do a board swap onto that, and then I don't have to worry about anything. It cost me nothing, but that one was playing up. I could maybe test it. I've got the other screen there that semi works, but and if it's any good, because it should tell you battery health on those. I don't know if it did on that model, but if it does and it's above 90%, then it's worth saving. But you could test it for a couple of days and see anyway. So there's ways to find out. But I'll wind it up so I don't drag this on any longer than it has to. Great second day. This is going to go out a little bit late, so Unfortunately, it won't hit because it's like 11:47 at night. So it's not going to hit on the 3rd by the time I finish editing. It's 3/4 edited, but I've got to chuck this in and a couple of other bits. And then by the time it uploads, it'll be the 3rd. But I did it on the 2nd. So, and we'll get better and better. A lot of stuff went on at home today that we needed to sort out, which is just life. So, but I think I'm going to start doing these in the morning, so at least I've got the whole day for stuff to go wrong. But overall, good video for me as far as I'll make my daily target. My daily target's around $400-500. So if you go off that 100,000 a year, you can kind of work that out. So yeah, all good, guys and girls, and everybody else. Thank you for watching if you have watched, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell everybody how awesome watching this is. But otherwise, have a great day. See you later. Bye.